Sheets, aka Carol the Coach, and I'm here with you today to talk about how to make a decision. Are you one of those people that have great difficulty deciding what they need to do and how they need to do it? In other words, you have trouble making decisions. Well, you're not alone, and the good news is I have a formula that absolutely will make a difference in your life, and you'll feel that self-assuredness that you know what you're doing once you use the formula. And here's how it goes. I call it using the head, heart, and gut. Now, intellectually, we oftentimes know what to do, but we don't listen to that part. In other words, we don't listen to the head. And the head is the cognitive behavioral approach to working out a situation. Therefore, the next time you have a difficult situation, I want you to ask yourself, what do I think logically? You know, I just read yesterday that the most successful people in the world listen to their logic and then act on it. Now, the second choice you have is, what do I do emotionally? What does my heart tell me to do? And although using your heart is a very important component to making a decision, it oftentimes leads you astray from where you really need to be. So sit down and ask yourself emotionally, what does my heart tell me to do? I want you to write it out, just as I would with your head. What does your logic tell you to do? So, okay, you have the column with the logic, and then you have the column with what the heart tells you to do, your emotions. And I always say, boil it down to these 5 emotions: anger, sadness, loneliness, fear, and happiness. When you follow one of those 5, all the other emotions fall underneath it, as if it were an umbrella. If you're irritated, you feel mad. If you're scared, you feel afraid or anxious. Okay, so emotionally, decide what you would do. Now, the third part of the formula is, what does your intuition tell you to do? In other words, what does the gut say? You know, the intuition is that knowing inside of you. It's that knowing that you do have the capabilities to intuitively know what it is you need. What you need in your life. All right, so what does your gut say? And then you put all 3 together. You've written all 3 out, and it's a 2 against 1 formula. Whatever 2 of the components to making a decision veer towards, that's the decision you make. Okay, now that may be a little confusing, so let's look at an example. Let's say you're a woman and you're having trouble deciding what you should do in a relationship where you're not getting your needs met. I have a lot of single clients that never are quite sure what to do in a relationship and when to do it. So, okay, let's say I have Myrna, and Myrna has been dating somebody for about 3 months, but they don't go out like he promises, and she's not getting her needs met like she'd like to, and the relationship really is not materializing in the true form of what Myrna believes a relationship should. So intellectually, what does she think? If she's using her head, she says to herself, you know, I know this relationship isn't going anywhere. It is too much of a day-to-day struggle. I have talked with him. I have shared my needs. I've told him what I've wanted, and it just isn't producing the results I want. Okay. So now, emotionally, what does Myrna want? Well, she really likes this guy. Let's call him Ted. She really likes Ted. He's a wonderful guy. He's got great aspirations. He's in school. He's a hard worker. Emotionally, she is attached, and she wants the relationship to work. And she's willing to do what it takes because emotionally, she wants him in her life full time. So emotionally, she really desires this man. Okay, now if she sits very quietly and thinks about the gut, her intuition, what does she know to be true? And this is the question I would ask you to ask yourself. What do I know in my gut to be true? And when Myrna really sits and thinks and feels and then concentrates and centers on what she knows to be true, some people say this is spirit, and some people say, no, it is just the inside knowingness. Well, what she knows is that they are not the right fit. That regardless of what he is capable of, he is not producing that in their relationship. And therefore, the knowing part of her says, hey, Myrna, this relationship isn't going to go anywhere, and you're not going to get what you need. If it's been 2 or 3 months and the man has not progressed enough to make you feel like he's really working towards a direction of relationship building, he's not the right man for you. Okay, so now let's look at all 3 parts. Intellectually, she's being told, this is way too much work. Emotionally, she likes him and she's willing to do what it will take to be attached to him. And intuitively, she gets it, that this is not the right relationship for her, whether he's relationship delayed or whether maybe she's not the right person to motivate him to do the things he needs to do to have a relationship. See, I believe, although men may not know how to have relationships, when coached by the right woman, they will respond if they're really with a woman that they want to go that next step with. All right, so it's that 2 against 1 formula. The head and the gut tell her it's time to move on and either enjoy being single or look for somebody that she truly wants a relationship with. And that's how the head, heart, and gut formula works. If you enjoyed this formula, then look at my website, www.carolthecoach.com. I have over 500 articles that you can download for free that gives you practical advice, as well as asks you to really look at yourself to find the answers. It's kind of a paradox. I do give advice on what to do, but ultimately I know that you have everything inside to make a difference. All right, as I end everything, I'll tell you to fearlessly have the courage to be yourself. Use this formula and then make the changes you need to, because you found the formula to make the right decisions. Have a wonderful week and come back to this YouTube site so we can talk some more about what you can do to make your life the best.